Tough
I,
one.
yeah, it's a tough one, but I probably am, I'm gonna go Fab. I just when it comes to like what's in Maserado, I personally listen to more Fab than I do Kiss per se, and
I
it is a
think we
tough one.
play more Fab. I think we play more Fab in the club,
Right.
right? And and I think punchlines for me is Kiss. That's for me, right? Um, you got two left on your 10.
Okay. I'm gonna give one that because it means so much to my career too. I'm gonna have to put Black Thought in there. Uh,
Okay.
I'm gonna put Thought in there.
Did that freestyle at all?
I didn't need a
Brighten up.
convince. I didn't need a
You're
convincing.
already there.
Yeah, that was I told you so moment for me.
I slept on Black Thought in the 90s, 2000. I slept.
I think it's been a
I
problem.
slept. I
Been
slept.
been a problem. And then my last one. I'm gonna go. I'd say Pac. I didn't say Pac in, right?
Mm,
I put Pac in there.
I think Pac is. I think Pac. Pac had so much material, right? That he had left over afterwards, which was
And I say I'll put Pac in there just for more than anything for legacy purposes and just culturally for his impact on rap.
he was a a very good storyteller on with some of those titles he had. Like especially the ones a little bit before he was on death row. I thought he was like I thought he was like I don't know what my favorite. See, my favorite is Get Around. I like just because of the way it used to thump down in that club. I, I, I like that. What about you? What's your top five current artist drama? Top five current artists right now, this second.
Top five current artists.
Your volume went funny a little bit.
What about now?
Yeah, like who's your top five guys right now? Last 2 years, right now.
Top five. Jack Harlow, Little Baby, Roddy Rich. Let's go. Moneybag and Drake.
Yeah.
You know,
I like Drake.
it's niggas like when we say Drake was still as long as he's still been here in the last decade, he's still been dominant even in these last couple years. Like I still think it'd be unfair to leave his name out of the
Of
conversation.
course.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
Drake doesn't get credit because me and you have never talked about it, but I mean, I just listen. My only thing that gives me the only thing that gives me a slight cloud and keeps him out of my all-time favorite list, because people get mad at me when I say this, but he would be my number one choice if if there wasn't a question sometimes, right?
Yo, by the way, you was disrespectful when you put that asterisk and put questionable pen. You a funny nigga, yo. I was dying. I say, yo, Flex does not stop. He really put questionable pen.
but
And you knew
I
it was
put
gonna
it
get
from.
under. You knew it was gonna get under his skin when it was the only niggas that had on there was questionable pen was him and Ye. And
Yeah,
it's like
yeah. Well,
we know he takes it very seriously. So even niggas very
but
when it comes to
I lost your volume. Your volume. No, hold up. You gotta say that again. There's volume now, right? You hear him?
It's a delay.
I can't hear you now, drama.
what I was saying that I think when you talk about questionable pen when it comes to Ye and when it comes to Drizzy, he takes it a little more seriously when we're talking about his pen per se. You feel what I'm saying?
Kanye came in the game. Now,
yeah, Kanye is cool with it. Drake don't
well,
like
something. Well,
it.
drama in his defense. Listen, I remember when people didn't think the singing was cool, and then they grew to love it because it was great music and great records. It took a long time for us to accept that we are okay with if you choose to sing on whatever the rapper is. If you choose to sing on this one or you choose to rap on this one. And I think he does that well. I think a lot of artists ran with that formula. You know,
I mean, the whole game in a sense could be classified as like Drake babies if we really want to put it in context. You really can't be a rapper these days without having melody, you know.
No.
And we all like
you can, but you'll be underground.
You'll be underground. Period. I mean, like, you know, like a whole new crop, whether it's J.I., whether it's, you know, A Boogie, whether it's Blast, like Roddy. Like a lot of niggas, you know, are singing. And I'm not saying, you know, I'm sure they have other influence and inspirations, but, you know, Drake made it to where, you know, you can't go without melody in today's rap society. You feel me? But you know, my thing has always been, and, you know, we've had these conversations offline and somewhat online at times, but I don't, regardless of, like, his pen is still, it can't be questioned to me, because when a nigga's to a point where he's already dominated the game for so long and proved himself, even for writing for others, I never saw how that really could be taken as a debt per se in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? When the pen is already been proven. And I get the conversations, of course. I honestly, you know, and I wasn't right in the mix of it as you was, but I never looked at it like that. Never. I still think when it's all said and done, he might have that top slot.
You know what it is? The Mount Rushmore is so heavy. It's so heavy. I mean, and depending on what part of the world you're in, that Mount Rushmore might change a little bit, right? But you know, when you have the Biggies and you have the Jays and you have the Nas's, right? And we can really confirm, and with you being here, Drama, I know you confirm is, when you talk about Jay-Z, you talk about Biggie, you talk about Nas, could they have gotten some help with a hook or a bar here and there?
Of
in
course.
the studio with a producer? I mean, we know those stories.
I mean, but we've literally seen it on record. I mean, Timberland was in there going like this, or, you know, Pharrell was basically, you know, giving concepts and ideas for records, you know, while they were working per se. And I know that people might look at that as necessarily being different as like actual bars being written or however it's told. But like, I just, you know, I just don't, I don't know. I mean, I just don't think that when it's all said and done, that's going to take away from, you know, the greatness per se.
And it's kind of rude. I mean, Drama, you've been in the studio, I've been in the studio. It's rude not to listen to somebody's advice in the studio. You know,
Real
like
shit.
It's like rude. Like you kind of like invited in, and if you hear the guy do it, you know he cared for it, and if he doesn't do it, you know he wasn't really jacking that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, you know, I think I should take this time. Listen, we only know. I want to say no.
Is it going to be better than Jay-Z when it's all said and done?
Say that again.
Is Drake going to be better than Jay-Z when it's all said and done?
Everybody hated for me when I answered this before, Drama. If it wasn't for the pen, see, questionable pen is okay for if you want to be number one entertainer. He's number one entertainer. I'll give him right. Now a great.
No, but you know, like I know, he's from the cloth. He cares about. He's not thinking about that.
Yeah, I know.
When it comes to those
You're
bars.
Right. He's caring. I think if there was no question of his pen, I mean, he would be number one for me because, I mean, you know what? He's really holding. There was a point where he was really holding two titles.
Mm-hmm.
He was wearing the bar title,
and
he was wearing the singing title.
Facts.
Right, like that. We could say there was a few years there he had both titles.
Mhm.
Am I right to say this? Did he single-handedly get rid of the R&B artists?
1,000%. 1,000%.
That's so crazy, right?
100,000%. We don't
Like,
listen to
what
R&B songs like
happened?
we listen to rapper R&B songs. I mean, the nigga's on steroids, like, and you know, we got to give him credit for that. Like, he does it all. Like, shit's fucking Barry Bonds. He came in the game. It was just different.
I noticed when I asked Jadakiss' top 10 and yours as well, I noticed Eminem wasn't in it. I just saw somebody that I know. Shout out to Danielle. She just did that. Why? There was a point, Drama, where
And was always in the top.
like you remember when he rhymed with Jay, and then people were, like now.
Say watch, man.
I didn't think that's just my opinion. I thought they were both great verses. I didn't think he was Jay. I don't know what you thought. Just your opinion. I thought it was even to me.
Yeah, it was even. It was even to me. It's kind of based upon the type of rap you might find yourself flocking to per se. So I don't know if "wash" is the right word.
Why do you think he gets so much? Why do you think in 2021? Because I've been trying to figure this out. I know he had a little run-in with Snoop. It's always about bar talk, too. It's always about record talk, I notice, where, I don't know, is it people seem to, the credit they were giving him in those 2000s, I want to say to 2010, maybe even 2015, and all of a sudden now, people don't place Eminem. The songs didn't different. His bars ain't different.
Honestly, I think some of it just might have to do with like his personality in a way of being somewhat of a recluse, like kind of away from the game. Because even when he pops his head up, he still goes on to, sell multiple records. Like when you really listen to him, he's not like, if you're a connoisseur of bars, like he's still top notch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like his style has changed over the years per se, where, as I'm in the earlier years, I would gravitate to a Eminem song more than I might these days. But I mean, he still can arguably, he can arguably be in contentions with anybody on the list I named per se. So he might not be on my list, but I would never argue if his name comes up without question. He's still one of the greats.
Now, why does Royce the 5'9" not find as much success as Eminem? Just from you, Drama, from outside looking in.
I mean, he hasn't had the success when it comes to records, to albums, to projects. Lyrically, he's up there. He's close. So
he's
Royce,
never been on the right label. He's never been.
Right. Royce is going to be on like a top 10, one of the most underrated MCs of all time. Like he's on that list.
Do you have a top 10 underrated?
Oh, that's a good one.
Do you have a top 10 underrated?
Let me think if I could do a 10.
I got
underrated.
one. G-Rap.
G-Rap. I got another
That's
one for you. Rest in peace, Fred the Godson.
Fred the Godson. Absolutely.
Now, if we talking freestyle, that was probably the number one freestyle on your show ever, in my opinion.
I thought it was dope too.
Yo, Fred shit. That shit was insane. To this day, I could still turn it on and hear bars.
It was how clever it was, right?
So fucking clever. Every word of it. G-Rap can go on there. I could put Black Thought on that list.
Okay.
Underrated. I kind of feel like Big Sean is underrated.
I agree. I think, and I hope I can say this in a safe place. Sean's albums was wowing me. And it's not that I didn't like the last one bar wise, because I actually, Drama, music is in an unfair place now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you damn near have to have some similarity to what's on the top of the chart to even creep. Like to we don't come from that.
Hmm.
But it
Yeah,
seems that,
everything shit was different.
yeah, like, but, and not in a bad way. Like, it
Hmm.
just in, like, um, I think, could Big Sean do exactly what your favorite rapper is doing right now? I think yes, times 10.
Hmm.
I think the question is, does he want to?
Hmm.
You know, and I think that might be like a because I'm a big Sean fan, and I asked my son the other day, what did he think about the last album? And he was like, it was okay, but I didn't love it.
Hmm.
And I don't know. Are we getting away from body of work? Is that no longer appreciated in the game?
Yeah, I
Drama?
don't know if it means as much as it may once have been. But I still think at the end of the day, regardless of anyone is to a degree of how hot you are, how big your records are, what differentiates from good to great and the upper echelon that we're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
you still have to come with a album that is undeniable or considered a classic for you to be in those conversations. You'll never be in a conversation like that if you don't have one of those projects. You feel what I'm saying? That's why
Mm-hmm.
we're always going to praise Ross or Jeezy or you know even Baby. You know what I'm saying? These are guys that have come with bodies of work that are like that stand up. If you just come in with records, like it's just not the same. I still think that matters. I definitely still think that matters.
I appreciate your time today, John. This is such a bonus for me.
I got a question for you because this is I need to hear from a New York perspective, and I don't want you to I don't want you to be biased because I'm on the phone, but
Okay, I'll be honest.
let's talk mixtapes and let's talk.
Okay. You want my favorite? Is that what you're gonna ask me?
I want your favorites. I want your favorites.
Um, damn, bro. All right. I got to be able to say my favorites with reason why.
Okay.
Clue is my favorite
Okay.
because this is my top five. It's my
Your top
top five.
five. Your top five.
Clue is my favorite because not just quality.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he changed it a little bit from a party perspective to exclusive songs.
Mm-hmm.
But not just exclusive garbage. Clue's top 10 was probably the most important top 10 of that time.
Mm-hmm.
So Clue's important for me because I think it would have died if it didn't reinvent.
Mm.
Um,
That's
Kid
real.
Capri is important for me because it was the energy, like Brucey and Love Bug and Hollywood. Those were great tapes with missing a little bit of structure. They were great moments, like more nightclub moments than actually home. Capri
It felt like
started
you
to
was
be,
there. It made you feel like you was there.
yeah, like Capri started to make me feel like a little home vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I got Capri, I got Clue, I got Capri. I'm gonna tell you why your segment was so important. Was once again we could have died again because it definitely in our New York feel it had slacked. It had slacked. It had went away. It wasn't. There was a bite. There was a biteness, and I'm gonna keep it all the way real. In maybe what I'm gonna say hour, even though I'm not a mixtape guy. But I think I had that problem on the radio too. Is the tapes were not allowing in the rest of the world.
Got you.
On the radio and the tapes, and I think your Gangsta Grill really made me appreciate artists I would have never taken a look at, and as well as the rest of the world. So if I had so Clue, Capri, Drama. Doo-wop is important for me because
Me too.
that 95 Live, is it 95 Live? With the, because you know he, like, listening to his tape and how heavy he was going on the freestyles.
So crazy.
But you know who I used to really love, Drama? He had this rapper called Snagglepuss.
I remember
This nigga was
Snagglepuss on the
so
tape.
hard.
From the Bounce Squad. Yeah, from the fucking Bounce Squad. He
Yo,
used to go crazy.
I love that guy. Yo, if I could have stolen a rapper from him, I wanted to steal Snagglepuss. Because the cartoon, he rhymed like him. That shit was so hard.
It's crazy. Nah, Snagglepuss was out of here.
And they swag. I remember they had a song, rock, bounce, roll, skate. That shit was so hard.
I remember that.
So if I had to, so Clue, Capri, Doo-wop, Drama.
Doo-wop. Got one
I'm
more.
gonna give you my last. And I got 4. I got one left.
You got one left.
Ron G.
Ron G.
Yeah, listen.
Ron, he changed the game.
Let me
He changed the game.
So,
would there be R&B records over hip hop beats if it wasn't for what Ron was doing? I mean, that was the first time I had heard it.
Now, for Capri, right? I remember I was on 125th Street.
Was Capri doing it first?
Well, he was doing it. Well, he was doing it different because I think Ron was also experimenting with new artists and new acapellas, and like with the Miss Jones thing.
Yeah.
But I remember there was a McDonald's on 125th, and I caught a flat tire. This is 91, 90. Stephanie Mills, Something in the Way You Make Me Feel.
I remember that when he was bringing it in.
He's cutting impeach the president.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just cutting it though.
And remember, he was letting the vocals ride for a minute. He was cutting it. It was epic. It was epic when it was just the acapella playing. He would bring it in.
Yo, and
you got to be from the cloth to really appreciate this
I know where
conversation
Capri
right
used to throw it in from. I've been up and I've been down. And then by the time he get to the in shaky ground, and that shit is gone. But then he would pull it back. But when I was on this corner Drama, 10 cars, but they're playing a different part of the same Kid Capri tape.
Mm-hmm.
So they're playing a different piece, but it's the same Stephanie Mills blend. And Ron G, I was in front of Club 2000, and he just dropped the tape, and Miss Jones was on it. And she was singing, she did Real Love, but she was saying, Ron G, I'm talking about Ron G. Oh my God.
There's some shit at the time to make you be like, fuck, I gotta come with something better, give up, right?
Yeah. I like Diaz Brothers too, but
shout out to Tony Toka. And I gotta salute the S. You know, I definitely always gotta salute the S. You know, for me, S is the first. That was the first tape I ever heard was S's old school tape that made me want to be a mixtape DJ. So
I would tell you, SNS had this tape that I really enjoyed, and it might have been, I don't know if it was with him and Craig G, but I think he started it with Ain't No Nigga, Jay-Z. And we were riding down to North Carolina. We had this SNS tape on so long. Like, you know what it is with S? And I want to we should place him in the underrated too, as well, even though he's known.
Mm-hmm.
He was, between, this is Capri Clue time.
Yeah.
So it was hard for him to be appreciated because he rocked the club super hard.
Right. You feel like the crown went from Capri to Clue? Like that was the...
Yeah, well, there was a point, and I think it was um, the labels had a big. The labels were key too. Sometime with who the next guy was, because you put your name in, but then you needed the support. The labels not to shut down, and I think, I think sometimes they pick favorites.
Shout out to Camilo on the comments too. Camilo said Tony touched 50 MCs, of course.
No, it's a hard tape.
That was a game changer.
Wait,
No, but
50 MCs was hard.
But not Flex.
But Camilo, let's be clear. That doo-wop 95 Live.
That was the one. It was
a different animal.
They came out around the same time too, so both of those tapes really had a huge impact. Like that was that was when niggas really, because of 95 Live, you had to literally have an exclusive, somebody like rapping on your tape, like not just from a record. Like, that shit changed. What's interesting to me is hearing you say you're not a mixtape guy, and I don't think myself or the world necessarily looks at you like that, even though you were in the game. You you made a lot of stride even from that point too. And even from the album perspective, Flex, just for a moment for me to give your flowers publicly, I know I could say this along with a lot of us, like there would be no DJ Drama if it wasn't for 60 Minutes of Funk. You know what I'm saying? Those volumes and
I appreciate
beyond everything you was doing, bro. Like, I mean, you literally, with a blueprint to beyond just what you had to do on them turntables, like what you had to do when you wasn't on those turntables. You know what I'm saying? From the marketing perspective, crushing every field around, the music. Like you're the reason for a lot of my success, and me coming up, watching what you was doing, and really laying the just laying the blueprint that we all followed to get here, man. I just wanted to salute you for that. Like,
I appreciate you, man, and I had fun doing it. I had Steve Rifkin, who I appreciated then, but I've grown to appreciate more because I didn't understand the business, so I used to argue with him sometimes a lot, unnecessarily, because Leora and them was always in my head. So shout out to Leora, but I'm just being honest. But Loud, I'm gonna tell you something, Drama. I've said to a few people, Loud actually gave me 40 grand. And please, Steve, don't get upset with me. They gave me a record deal and gave me, I think the album was 40 grand. I think so at the time. And
wow.
It was just they didn't care if I turned the music in. You see where I'm going with it, Drama?
Yeah, so they didn't even.
I'm on the radio 7 nights a week.
Yeah, that wasn't even.
If the guy don't turn it in, so what?
We're getting what we need.
Shout to Jessica Rosenblum.
Shout out to Jessica.
There was a young man, and I swear I'm gonna remember his name. Shout out to Dan Small. Shout out to Rich Isaacson. Just everybody. But Jessica was like, "Are you gonna record?" And I was still signed to Nervous Records. So shout to Mike.
Yeah, because what was the record you put out on Nervous? I
had a couple joints there, but
there was a hot one too, though. I remember. Damn, which one was it?
What was that guy? Michael Weiss was the guy that owned it. So, I just went in. I just started to record. I had never really been in the studio heavy. And I just started, and it started to come together. And there was a guy at Loud Records, because I don't know if you remember, Drama, the word mixtape was a big word when you didn't care who the DJ was. You just have the college kids used to just say, "I got a mixtape," which meant the songs went together.
Compilation type.
Before that, it was Clue tape, Drama tape, or you know what I mean. It was the art. It was the DJ's tape.
Mhm.
So he said to me, "Why don't you just call it a mixtape?" I was like, "What's a mixtape?" He said, "Well, that's what because I'm used to Capri tape or Clue tape
Mhm.
or whatever." So they said that, and then they're gonna slice me.
No, I'm saying the video's dropping in 2 minutes.
So in all of that, I started to record and got an opportunity. You know, Drama, they only signed me for 2 albums, and I went gold on the second one.
And then
Steve
you went to
Rifkin, don't
Def.
get mad. So
That's
the
when you went to Def Jam.
DMG and Steve Rifkin, they keep taking me to dinner. They keep talking with me. I want to meet with you. So I'm thinking I'm just going to, you know, what are they talking to me for? My deal was up. So they was like, this dumb motherfucker then went gold. Now we got to deal with him. But I thank Steve for that opportunity, man. You know, Drama, it great opportunity, man. You know,
Nah, sure.
we dropping this video what in 2 minutes?
Yeah.
What time is it?
Minute and a half.
What time is it?
It's
About to be
9:58.
10.
Shit, they didn't cut us off.
No, you don't do that no more.
Oh, okay. Drama, I appreciate you, my brother,
My brother, I love you, man.
and love always continue success. You have an amazing ear as well as
Good
being an
looking.
amazing DJ and so
I appreciate
groundbreaking. You're so humble, my brother.
I
You are
appreciate
so
that.
humble because you know I see you in the cut. It changes my perspective of a rapper. I'll be like, nah, let me pay attention to this. Let me pay. And I want to tell you something, and I don't want to offend anybody. You were instrumental in Lil Uzi.
Mhm.
I don't think your efforts are unappreciated. And sometimes, I don't want to say bothers me. I want to put it in the right way. We now live in a generation that people behind the scenes ask, help me get on, help me get on, help me get on,
Mhm.
and then get a little in front. And it just changes slightly.
Mhm.
And it's like a young thing to always try to revert it back to doing it ourselves,
Mhm.
which has changed from what we've come from. And my brother, I saw your grind when no one was moving with Uzi, my brother.
Mhm.
I know the way you were calling me. I know the way you were calling other people, my brother. You know, was disappointed when he said the label's not letting me drop. I was like, man, you could always put your music out, whether or not, you know what I mean. If you look, you know, my own music, I want to put it out, try to get a buzz. You could try to put a buzz. You put songs out, try to get a buzz. But I just wanted to commend you. We see you, my brother. Don't think
Nah,
we
I
don't.
appreciate it.
We see you, my nigga.
Nah, good
And
looking,
love.
man. Nah, and you know, I mean, even through when I was getting bullets thrown, pointing in my direction, you know, I stayed 10 toes down. I knew like the story would help write itself, and you know, especially when artists like Uzi, who I have so much still invested in, you know what I'm saying, and you know, I literally, you know, helped groom him from rising artist to fucking superstar. You feel what I'm
Nigga, you
saying?
was
So
calling before I even met him, or I think heard nothing. And he was like, "There's this guy," and I was like,
yeah.
but when I heard it,
And you know, he's different from what Philly has sounded like at the time. So it wasn't
super
an easy
unorthodox,
sell.
super unorthodox of what we were used to.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, to sit here a couple years later on, you know, on the heels of Jack Harlow's success, and you know, Jack Harlow's about to go do Saturday Night Live. So, you know, if anybody has any questions, of DJ Drama doing his motherfucking thing out here,
Nigga, you never cry, cause nigga, don't think I don't know. Who's your partner?
Cannon, shout out my nigga Cannon.
Y'all always walk around like your paperwork be tight. Y'all like, yeah, y'all don't give a fuck. Y'all don't give a fuck. Paperwork tight. Congrats, my brother, and love.
My nigga, love you, bro.
Love.
Videos out.
All
Videos
right,
out.
congrats on the record.
Yeah, thank you, my nigga. And I'm dropping a CJ joint I got coming up. I'm also dropping you know, I'm working with Bobby Shmurda. I'm working with who am I forgetting? I got a 42 Doug joint coming. and
Fredo Bang.
who else?
Fredo Bang.
I got a mean Fredo Bang.
But we
You
got
know,
to get this Hollow record. We got to get this Hollow record.
Nah, listen, he big. You know, he got. I'm gonna tell you something. He has. He has at the same time. He has a big album and an underrated album at the same time. There's some of the commercial people who are like, "Oh, I love everything," but there's some of the underground niggas going, "Yo, y'all niggas is." They like different songs on his album.
I like that you paid attention to that. I like that.
Yeah, it's like my son and my daughter like different records.
Yeah,
So,
I like that.
But that's
Yo,
dope.
so
Man.
Seti Hendrix.
Okay. That's
next.
Be clear.
Be very, very clear, Flex.
At his leisure. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
I'm gonna put it together.
Thank you, man. My brother.
Video out now.
Always. I might hang around. Let me see who else we can put in here. My video's out right now. You can get Jada had us lit. Jada's got us to an ungodly place. Well, we had like 15. Did you snap it when it was like 17?
17 too.
Somebody said, did you kick John Quick that does Afro Radio off the air?
What?
Now I'm gonna read some of these. Yes, sir. What's going on?